I'm Chuck Pippin with iKon Boats. Today I'm going to show you the top 10 things about an iKon LX model bass boat. All right, I'm out in my LX21 here on the lake, and before we get started, I got to confess, there's more than 10. There's more than 10 top things about the LX, so let's get into it. One of the first things people notice when they walk up to an LX20 or an LX21 is this massive front deck. Because of popular fishing styles, we kept it wide all the way to the front. You can fish an angler here, over here, or it's big enough to have two people fishing side by side. I'm out here by myself today, so it's just me. But here or here with plenty of room so you're not bumping elbows. This part's intended as a step, but it's plenty big enough to stand up here if you really need to get close up on them, if you're looking down on them. I stand up here when I'm sight fishing or when I'm punching mats sometimes if I really want to get a close to the water view. Front deck's also big enough you can strap up to 9 bait casting rods or spinning rods. They take up a little bit more room on each side. I got 9 bait casting rods right there strapped down flat. When I pull that trolling motor up, the brace isn't going to crunch my rod handles either, like that. Plenty of room up front on this LX21 and the LX20. Also on all LX models, the entire front deck is padded. Not just the front fishing platform, but all the lids padded for those long days on the water. And we have this extra deep gutter system here. See that? You open these lids here, you'll notice the base of the lids are suspended because they're resting on this gasket, which rests on here, and it's also supported by these grommets here. So the lids are suspended, so when you're getting rained on, it drains down in here nice and quick. You don't have water coming over here and getting your compartments wet. Another bonus, which I don't have to deal with here in Florida very often or at all, but it's happened to me when I've traveled, is super cold conditions, the lids, the base of the lids, on some of the boats where this rests on the base down here, your lids freeze shut. That extra deep gutter system keeps your lids from freezing shut. While we're on the front deck, let's talk about tackle and gear storage. As a lot of you guys know, the LX20 and this LX21 have a ton of tackle storage. Let's look in mine. Open this big lid up. I got upper work lights for that early morning rigging. The inside of the compartment's lit also, but this really broadcasts down. We've talked about that before. I have the upper sliding tackle organizer that's also available now on the LX20 models. So you got plenty of storage in here. Let's pop that. And that's a lot of tackle. I don't have a bunch of boxes in here. I could put more in here, but it gets hot down here, so I don't carry much more than I actually need. Locks in place there. Got plenty more room up there. Compression latches, keep those lids secure and dry. You can fit a ton of rods in here. I've got big 8-foot punching sticks in there, all the way down to 7-foot rods. More than enough rods in there. I don't know how many I have in there. It's not polite to count. Plenty of room in there. I got my net, some life vests in there. Lots of CPF lure stuff in here. More storage back here. More storage here. I have the shallow tub here because I do have a chiller plate for our Livewell system. We'll talk about that later. Moving along, let's talk about our fully finished liner and our transom. We have a way overbuilt transom. There's a lot of guys running around out there with 300 horsepower engines on their LX21s and a couple out there with their LX20s. It's a way overbuilt transom, which is needed with these super high output outboards that we have these days. Coosa Blue Water 26 board builds up that transom. Extra high knees. The flotation in this, you're not going to have chunks of flotation in and up down in your bilge that clog up your auto bilge and stuff like that because it's all sealed. It's a 3-piece boat. You have your hull, the fully finished liner is then pressed and fused together, and then the flotation is injected in there, so it's solid flotation all the way through there. The guys that do the rigging on these boats or guys that work on their own boats love the fact that their forearms aren't eaten up with fiberglass splinters when they're rigging electronics, stuff like that. Let's talk about the ride and the controllability of this boat. A lot went into the design of the hull on this boat. It was built, the LX models, the LX20 and the 21, were built for tough tournament conditions. I fished all over the country, Lake Champlain, Toledo Bend, Okeechobee, Harris Chain, Lake Hartwell. I was there 4 years ago, and everybody that had a ski boat and a pontoon boat was out, and we had 3-foot waves coming in. Before, I wasn't running an iKon back then, and I remember those bottoming out on the waves, the thuds. We designed this hull for tough tournament conditions. It has a narrower running pad, which makes the maneuverability better. Steering, if you're a river rat winding up and down through all those river channels, this boat will go where you want it to. It doesn't bite. It doesn't slide around the corners. It's like driving a sports car, kind of like driving a sports car through a windy channel. When you're out in the big water, beating through the waves, ask some of our guys up in Lake Erie, up on the Great Lakes, places like that. This is the best boat, in my opinion, and a lot of people's opinion, for those big, rough water conditions. And the hull was designed like that. We have naval architects, naval engineers that designed the hull in conjunction with engineers from many different industries, not just bass boat engineers. We brought a whole bunch of engineers together to build this hull so you don't get your back blown out on those rough water days. One of my favorite things about all iKon boats, it's part of our DNA, not just the LX models, is our clean power Yacht wiring harness to power all these electronics. You see on my boat, I have a Humminbird Apex 16. I have two 13-inch Apexes. I have the Mega 360. I have Mega Live. It's all powered on our wiring harness that's built into the boat. We didn't think it was fair when we were developing this boat that one of the first things you have to do is go get your boat rewired. So we incorporate our own graph mounts. See, I have our low profile made for this boat. Dual mount here. You can get that in a single mount, a triple mount. Keeps your graphs nice and low there, if you like them low, to eliminate as much wind resistance as we can. And then when you remove this plate, you can remove it without removing your graph mount. Your bus bar is right in there. Power up to 5 units on that one bus bar. Open this up. Accessibility. Get in here. There's our wiring harness, a clean power wiring harness right there. I only have this Apex 16 hooked up to it, but as you can see, I can hook up to 4 graphs, 1, 2, 3, 4, right there, easily accessible. One of my favorite things about our boat. A lot of bass fishermen, including myself, when they think about a wiring harness, you're just thinking about powering your electronics, your graphs, your depth finders, your GPSs, but it's much more than that. We have 4-gauge clean power wire for your trolling motors. These high-powered brushless trolling motors on the market today, they require a lot of power, so we ran 4-gauge wire from the stern to the bow to power your trolling motor. It's got its own bus bar up there, easy to hook up, right there when you remove that plate, for those guys that like to rig their own boats like me. Easy to access breaker system there that's automated. When you hit your one-touch power button, these are self-actuators. They turn themselves off or turn themselves on. All your breakers right there. Everything's accessible. Another great feature of an iKon LX model, actually any iKon model, VLX or LX, but here on this LX21 is our Lambo style or wing style lids that make your machine room, or as I like to call it, your battery compartment, even though there's a lot more going on here than just batteries, easily accessible. Whether you're in the boat, you're standing beside the boat, or you're in back of the boat, 180 degrees on each side, accessibility, plenty of room for everything. I have the big Minn Kota Precision 5-bank charger, both my Raptor pumps. I have Pro Guide batteries, 2 lithiums over here with a 50-pound bag because I have AGMs over on this side. 3 Pro Guide 31 series AGMs there. There's the independent bus bar for clean power for your poles. I have Raptors, some people run power poles. Again, you get to choose. My fish IV system, and all my pumps are right there. There's nothing hidden. If anything were to malfunction, if some debris got in my bilge pump there, my auto bilge pump, I can easily get down in there and clean that out. I can check anything. The back of our live well system's exposed there. Fully finished fiberglass. If you get in here and work on stuff, you're not gonna get fiberglass splinters up in your forearms. And if you really need to get in here for rigging, this is a cool feature. Just slide one of these, pop this off, and you can take your whole lid off in about 2 seconds. There's that deep gutter system right here. So everything drains quickly. Compression latches, fully finished machine room. Easy to get in here and work on, rigging, maintenance, repair. All your cables, wiring is all accessible right there in this oversized machine room. Let's talk about our patented L2 Livewell System. Not patent pending, our patent was approved. It's now a patented Livewell System, fully insulated like a cooler, about 2 inches thick there, outer shell, insulation, inner shell, fully insulated, recessed, drop down lids, so when they're closed, they recess down here level, because our live well fills all the way to the top. A lot of tournaments when you're running in with 25 pounds or 12 pounds, 10 pounds, when you're running in with the fish you caught for the day, you're running across 2 and 3 footers. If your live well only fills 2/3 of the way up, like a lot of our competitors, there's a lot of sloshing going on there, you're beating your fish up. Our live well is patented for its full automation. Once it fills all the way to the top, it automatically shuts itself off. If you lose any water, it automatically maintains that fill, keeps it full so you're not beating your fish up. My boat, don't judge me, my live well's dirty because I use it, has the chiller plate right here. Keeps those fish cool. I'm not trying to refrigerate my fish. We've said this a few times. I'll show you my compressor in here. There's the compressor that operates the chill plate. Not trying to refrigerate my fish. A recent tournament, we were fishing in 90-degree water. I heard a lot of guys telling me in other boats that the water in their live wells was getting up over 100 degrees. I set my chiller plate at 88 degrees, just a little bit cooler. Live well was 88 degrees at weigh-in. It's a true 35-gallon live well because it fills all the way to the top. Some of these competitors, they say they have a 40-gallon live well, but it only fills up to about here because they'll have an overflow valve. You have this easy to remove center divider if you want one big open live well. It's important we made one big open live well with a divider because of the volume of the water that the fish are swimming around in. If we chopped it in half, they're swimming around in half the volume. So these fish are swimming around, or they're living in full 35 gallons of live well water that's treated with our fish IV system. That's full of G-juice. It's not full. It's about 1/10 of the way full because I use it a lot. I have mine programmed. I don't have to worry about it. When my live well fills up, it'll inject 3/4 of an ounce of G-juice, and then every 90 minutes it injects another 3/4 ounce. I don't have to worry about it. I'm not spilling on my boat. I'm not measuring, and that allows for more time for fishing, less time working with the fish that you already caught, and concentrating on the fish that you're trying to catch, which that can be sometimes difficult. And that live well system is easily operated and set up right in here. There's my live well. I'm just gonna put it on auto, make sure my drain's closed. It is. I don't have to worry about it. You can see chiller came on because it's hotter than I have it set at. I knocked it down for video purposes. It's filling up. When it fills up, my recirculate that has the oxygen, ambient air injected into our recirculation, so you're oxygenating your fish at the same time as the water's recirculating. I can work it on auto, I can shut off auto, I can work it manually, work everything I want there. I can spray the fish IV manually, I can pump it out, I can do whatever I want. Don't have to worry about that. I usually get that all set up before a tournament starts. I'll adjust it if needed, if water temperatures change or anything like that. Super easy to operate. Don't need to get in here during the tournament because we have this convenient button pad here, and when I catch my first fish, I just walk by, turn the live well on, it automatically goes into my auto settings. If this screen were to ever fail, our button pads are redundant, and you'd be able to just operate everything, your lights, your pumps, your bilge pumps, your live well pumps, everything right here from this button pad. So keep you on the water. Don't need to worry about it. That's our Livewell system, our L2 Livewell system. One of the biggest features of our iKon DNA. Next, let's talk about the cockpit of the boat. Plenty of room in this cockpit. No carpet option down here. You don't want carpet in the floor of your boat because it doesn't drain quickly. Our gutter system, like I mentioned before, was designed to drain quickly. Drains down into the cockpit, goes into the recessed here. Doesn't matter which way your boat's leaning. If you got more people on one side, it's all gonna feed down in there, drain your boat quickly. Giant cooler step here, so you can easily walk from front to back without having to do a big jump step. An important part of the cockpit is your cooler. Got my protein shake, some bubbly, some other waters, 7-pound bag of ice that'll be there at the end of the day. Friction hinges to keep that lid open so it's not falling on you. Way oversized cooler for those long hot days on the water. Completely insulated. Lid also. This compartment's insulated. I got all my stuff in there. Captain's license, wallet, fishing license, bunch of other stuff. Plenty of storage on this boat. And the seats, our E-seat seating system, available in the LXs. This right here, we don't talk about this enough. That's our reflective, cool feel vinyl. On these hot days that we get all over the country, down here in Florida, Texas, South Carolina, all these hot places, you're not gonna burn your butt or your back when you sit on this vinyl, right in the sun right there, because it actually works. A lot of automotive engineering in these seats here. Nice upright seating position. Go sit in another bass boat. When you lean back in the seat, when you're utilizing that seat back, you're gonna be about a third of the way reclined. And that's why you see bass fishermen driving around like this all the time. We built our seats more upright so you can utilize that so it's more comfortable when you're pounding through big water and the tournaments and stuff. You're not wearing yourself out. You got to be able to fish when you get there. If you feel like you're in a car accident after beating across the lake, you're not going to fish as good as you probably should. So a lot of thought went into these seats. They got a 6-spring suspension system in here. 6 coil springs with this plate right here gives you a nice cushion ride. So when you're hitting those waves that you don't feel it right up through your spine. Thinking about your co-anglers here, a lot of boats you'll notice have an awkward handle up here, right here. They'll have another handle down here. You're sitting all crooked. Your co-angler is, your partner, your fishing buddy, sitting like this when you're beating through the waves while the captain over there is hanging onto that steering wheel. We thought about that and we put at arm's length a handle on this side. And a handle down on this side. With the co-angler in mind, both seats, passenger seat and the captain seat on the LX models, are adjustable. So no matter how big or tall you are, you can move the seat back or forward so you can keep your feet planted there nice and firm while you're beating through the rough water. Let's talk about some of the convenient features of our cockpit system. Everybody's filming these days. I'm filming right now, and you need power to power these cameras. And we have 2 USB connectors here on the passenger side. If you want to hook a camera or anything you need to wire up there. We have 2 down here. Plus I have the wireless phone charger option, which is super nice. My boat has the Fusion stereo system, but if you buy a new LX now, for 2025, you're going to get the Klipsch Marine speaker system with real quiet feature. I don't have it on this boat yet, but it has Klipsch Marine speaker here, Klipsch Marine speaker here, and a Klipsch Marine speaker right in here. Moving back to the console here, you'll notice we don't have to put a shroud on here that bolts on here. There's no plastic trim. That is a one-piece molded fiberglass console. It's built to last for a long time. There's not gonna be a lot of plastic stuff here fading. We don't have a shroud that's screwed in here that can come loose. Nice horizontal mounting surface for your graphs. There's no drilling needed. There's a recess in there. If you took this plate, all the cables, I didn't have to drill any holes when I rigged this boat. Besides for the mount here. You can mount straight from the factory, going back to our console mounts, single mount or dual mount here, straight from the factory. Really no need to buy any aftermarket mounts. Plus we now have, wish I had it sometimes, is the color matched removable passenger side console. We have some videos on that. They're ready to go for the LX20 and the LX21 models. I don't have it on this boat, but that passenger console, easy installation, easily removed because I think it weighs under 20 pounds. There's a stainless steel compression latch, a lot like the latches we have on the rest of the boat. If you're going out by yourself or you don't want it in there, you got a buddy that doesn't want that console, take it out. Taking somebody else wants the console, bad weather day, easily pop that console right in there. Speaking of options, you can customize your boat to make it truly yours. You can get custom decal kit for your outboards. There's a black carpet option for people that want to change it up a little bit. You can get your own logo or whatever logo you want embroidered into your seat rest, headrest here. Hydro dipped seat backs, custom cockpit floor mat with your own logo, iKon logo, whatever kind of logo you want in there. Lots of different options to make your iKon LX model truly yours. Our trailers are even customizable. You can get color matched paint with rock guard paint with steel fenders. There's also now an upgradable fiberglass fender option, color matched to your boat with backlighting on the iKon emblems and color matched bolt to match your boat if you like the fiberglass fenders or if you want to stay with those rugged steel fenders. And we have several upgradable wheel options. The travel cover, it's truly an anti-puddling system. There's 2 built-in poles, a single ratchet system. You don't have to, it's not heavy, one person, I do it every day. I keep my boat in storage. I don't have the luxury of it won't fit in my garage. So every day when I'm done fishing, that cover's light and manageable. It's waterproof. The poles stand right where they're supposed to. I never have to worry about, with all these heavy summer rains that we get here in Central Florida, I never have to worry about coming back to my boat and having 400 gallons of water resting in that cover. It also has very convenient zip access to your cockpit area in case you leave anything on or if you need to turn anything off. If you left your phone in there, once the boat's covered, you can just zip that open and easily reach into the cockpit. And a convenient zip out for guys that are running giant graphs on their console or the 2 graph system. You don't need to remove any of your graphs. My last year's boat, I had 3 graphs up front. I had the Mega 360 and the Mega Live target lock and 2 graphs on the bow, and my cover fit just as well with all that as it did if I would take all that stuff off. So travel right down the road, 75, 80 miles an hour. Don't have to worry about that cover flapping all around because it hugs right underneath the rub rail. Probably the best cover, in my opinion, on the market today. And last but not least, one of my favorite things is our contingency program, our Winners Win contingency program, where you can win up to $10,000. 10 grand, you fish a BFL, you fish a Toyota Series, you win in an iKon, you're getting an extra 10 grand. We have over 1,500 tournaments that are eligible on there. Check out our list on the Winners Win contingency program section of our website. If you're the highest finisher on a platinum level tournament and you finish in the top 10, if you finish 10th, let's just use BFL. If you finish 10th in a BFL and there's nobody in an iKon that's part of the contingency program that finished ahead of you, you get an additional $2,500. Best contingency program. It's built for the grassroots guys, the guys that are out there fishing the weekend tournaments. There's some Wednesday nighters that are in there, all kinds of tournaments. Go check it out on the contingency program. Thanks for watching. Those are the top 10 reasons, more than 10. Told you I was fibbing. Probably about 25 reasons in there to buy an LX21 or an LX20 iKon bass boat. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.